Guys, Gio here. So today I'm doing an intro to my series called The Summoner's Guide. In this intro I'm going to be explaining the metagame. For everyone who already knows what the metagame is, this is going to be basic information for you, but I believe everyone who plays League should know this, whether you're level 30 or lower. I'm going to be discussing the basic League metagame, so what you will be coming across most of the time. I say most because although this is the metagame, it isn't definitive, and new things are tried out and tested every day. So what is the metagame? The metagame is a concept based around getting as much gold and experience as possible through the means of different roles. We have three lanes or paths, so to say, in League of Legends. We have top lane at the top part of our screen, middle lane in the middle part, and bottom lane at the bottom part, and we have a jungle, but I will come to that in a second. So three lanes, pretty self-explanatory, right? Within our current metagame, on these three lanes will be four champions. I'm gonna go from top to bottom. On top lane, you usually have a melee AD bruiser. These champions are usually self-sustained champions. With self-sustained, I mean they can take a couple of hits. These champions usually have a way of regenerating health in lane or by lifesteal very early on, and are capable of dishing out a lot of damage. Champions like Riven, Irelia, Jace, Xin and Jax are some examples of melee AD bruisers. Middle lane is the home of the AP caster. These champions are mages. They deal almost all their damage with spells and are AP or ability power based. They can quickly burst down targets if their spells connect and hit, but are fragile and can be easily killed. Champions like Ziggs, Ahri, Lux, Syndra, Annie and LeBlanc and a lot of others call mid lane their home. Bottom lane is the only lane with two people on it instead of one. On bottom lane we have two champions, support and an AD carry. An AD carry or ranged physical damage carry are champions that attack from range, dealing the most of their damage with auto attacks. Their solely role early on in the game is to last hit minions and gain as much gold and experience as possible. Because they are auto attack based, they need some items before they can actually start dealing damage. Examples of AD carries would be Jinx, Ashe, Sivir, Lucian, and Tristana, among more. Next to them is the support. The role of these champions is to protect their AD carry, like a bodyguard. As a support, you won't be killing minions in lane. Your role early to mid game is to protect your AD carry at all costs, even if it means dying for them. You have to carry them early in the game, so that when they can get items and start dealing damage, they can carry you. Supports usually have a utility kit, buffs, heals and ways to lock down enemy champions. But if you can't kill minions, how are you supposed to get gold and experience? Support differs in a big way from other roles that they can get their gold from items. When you open the shop, there is a tab called Gold Income. This tab shows you three different items that can in one way or another generate you gold. You can however only have one of these items at one time. So, now we have had all three lanes, but we only counted 4 champions. The jungler is perhaps the most influential role early in the game. When the game starts, the jungler doesn't go to a lane, he heads over to the jungle creeps. These are monsters located between the 3 lanes, each will give you gold and experience for killing them, and they respawn after a certain time. The jungle basically is your lane. There are 2 major buffs in the jungle, the golem or blue buff, which rewards you with a buff on your cooldown reduction and mana regeneration, and the red buff or the elder lizard, which rewards you for killing it with a buff that makes your auto attacks slow and deal extra damage over time. As a jungler you will be getting these buffs, killing the monster camps and receiving gold and experience in this fashion. But the jungler has another task, which is ganking lanes. Ganking is a very effective way of getting ahead of your opponents. It is the art of showing up on a lane, for example mid lane, and assisting your ally to get a kill on the enemy champion, giving them an advantage on the enemy. Champions like Lee Sin, Volibear, Amumu, Xin Zhao, Fiddlesticks, Shyvana, Nunu, and many more can jungle effectively. The champions are positioned like this for a good reason. The top lane is the lane furthest away, therefore he has to be able to survive on his own. Although the jungler will help trying to get him ahead, most of the time you will be there on your own. The mid lane is the shortest lane. The ability Power Mage can easily farm minion waves using his abilities because it is the smallest lane, it will also push the hardest. This is countered by the fact that pushing on mid lane is very dangerous early on, as the lane has two different sides that you can get ganked on. It is hard to predict, anticipate or ward. Bottom lane has two champions instead of one. The reason for that is because next to them is Dragon. Dragon is a spawning epic monster. Killing him will reward your entire team with gold and experience. You should, however, not try to kill it without at least two other teammates. The reason the AD carry and support are bottom lane and not, for example, top lane is because if you push the enemy back to their base, aka you make them recall, you can easily kill the dragon with help from your jungler. But if that is the reason, why not put them on mid lane? Because ganking mid lane is easier than ganking bottom lane. It is only natural to only have one person on that lane in case it goes wrong. Thanks for watching my explanation on the metagame. If you have any questions or things you would like to be discussed in upcoming videos, please ask and say so in the comment section below. Well, thanks for watching guys, this is Gio signing out.